Dan and Jeff starts now.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to all our foreheads out there. You guys are my family out of frame. And what better way to spend the Thanksgiving together than to give thanks? Jeff and I will chat about what we're grateful for. Then we dive into our archives to dust off a tale of a notable suffragist from Schofield. We'll get to all of that in a bit, but first, here's your top 4 at 4. For generations, Americans have celebrated Thanksgiving, often with a large meal and showing gratitude. But when exactly did this holiday begin? Well, here's a hint. It wasn't the Pilgrims. When we were taught about Thanksgiving in school, we all learned about the harvest feast shared by the Pilgrims and an unnamed American Indian tribe. While a meal was shared, it wasn't the gesture of peace it has been made out to be. In 1621, Mayflower Pilgrims and Wampanoag people did sit down for a 3-day meal. At the time, it was just a routine English harvest celebration, and the Wampanoag joined the Pilgrims because the two groups had an alliance. But that alliance was short-lived. Years later, the Pilgrims started a decades-long war with their indigenous neighbors, ultimately ending in the massacre of the local tribes, including the Wampanoag. So the first Thanksgiving wasn't really a Thanksgiving or a peace gesture after all. It wasn't until 1789 that George Washington proclaimed the first National Day of Thanksgiving. But how did it become the annual recurring national holiday that we know now? Well, a key player in this transition was Sarah Josepha Hale, a magazine editor at the time. You may know her as the author of Mary Had a Little Lamb. In the mid-1800s, she campaigned for 17 years to create a national holiday called Thanksgiving. Fresh off a Civil War victory in 1865, President Abraham Lincoln took her advice. Lincoln thought it would be a good way to build an American identity after the country nearly divided in half. So he declared the last Thursday in November as the National Day of Thanksgiving. By the late 1880s, the concept of a pilgrim-centered Thanksgiving had blossomed in popular books. And that myth made its way into the public education system as a digestible way to learn about the Pilgrims and Thanksgiving. And that myth lives on in popular culture today. Thank you to the Smithsonian Magazine and National Geographic for the information. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller joins us now. Jeff, happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Dan. Happy Thanksgiving to you and all of you at home, of course. Very different day today, right? With temperatures hanging out in the 20s currently. Some light snow and flurries out there earlier. That's about to get out of here, but then the cold air rushes in tonight. We're going to have low temperatures down near 1, 2, or 3 degrees by early tomorrow morning. We have not done that for a while. Right now, it's 17 in Rhinelander with a northwest breeze around 9, and that feel-like temperature already in the single digits out there currently. 23 for Wausau, cloudy skies for you as well, with that northwest breeze at 13, giving you a feel-like temperature of about 11 outside currently. Okay, so the core of the cold air is right over us. We're basically hanging out in the teens to the north, 20s across central Wisconsin, and this is just going to start it. They're really going to drop off quickly tonight, especially as the clouds get out of here in just a little bit. Temperatures will drop like a rock tonight as there's lots of cold air to go around. This is all right there, moving in our direction for tonight and tomorrow. We'll rebound slightly on Saturday and Sunday, but overall, we're talking high temperatures pretty much below average for several days around here. So we'll get close to 30 tomorrow, then in the 30s for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And keep an eye on Saturday. There's some snow now in the forecast for Saturday afternoon. All right, all because of our Clipper systems going to move across the area on Saturday. These are notoriously easy to track. They always bring snow with them. We'll get some snow across the area on Saturday. Most likely a 1 to 3 inch snowfall arriving for us on Saturday afternoon. For now, though, the light snow is pulling away an inch or 2 across the area, parts of the area this morning. That's now pushing off to the east. Our next system is over here, right there. That's going to bring us that snowfall getting into Saturday afternoon, and it'll likely disrupt travel for you. If you're traveling on Saturday, this is definitely going to be a thing you got to watch. Your full forecast at 5 o'clock.
The new LDF Country Market in Lac du Flambeau offers families the freshest meats, produce, bakery, and groceries. Take a closer look and you'll find a smoke shop, beer cave, deli, and liquor all under one roof, with convenient fueling stations just outside. Add Native American arts and crafts, and you'll enjoy a unique, spacious shopping experience found nowhere else. Shop the new LDF Country Market today. Get what you need so you can get back to what you enjoy.
Stay your way. Play your way. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wittenberg. Win your way.
Hello, this is Eric from Fireside Supper Club, located on County K, just west of Rhinelander on Town Line Lake. Providing you with an enjoyable and relaxing dining experience is very important to us. Our rustic decor and beautiful view combine for a unique and comforting cabin-like feel. We offer a diverse menu, Friday fish fry, Saturday prime rib, and specialize in steak, seafood, ribs, poultry, and more. Plus, with every entree, you get soup, salad, crackers, rolls, and mini muffins. So come visit us tonight for dinner and let us do all the cooking and dishes. Follow us on Facebook, Friends, Family, Fireside.
Menard's Enchanted Forest has been a Christmas tradition for over 60 years. We invite the whole family to come take a stroll and find everything you need to deck the halls. Find that perfect tree to display your ornaments, ribbons, garland, and tree toppers. Create a warm and cozy space with decorative accents and hanging decor. Find it all at Menard's Enchanted Forest.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Furniture and Appliance Mart.
I feel like it's famous on Thanksgiving to eat your meal and you feel really tired, you take a nap, but
Yeah.
Theo, he's ahead of the game.
Yeah, he's had a busy morning though. He got a steak breakfast, went to the dog park already, went for a run in the woods. He's been here all afternoon, so
Wow.
of course he's taking his nap early. But there are lots of people out there right now on their their love seats, right? Just kind of sitting back like this, taking it easy, getting ready for turkey. They're probably already tired, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to have the turkey this year, but that's okay. I'm very thankful. I work here. It's kind of exciting to come to a place that I enjoy working. I enjoy working with you. I'm thankful for you, Jeff. I'm thankful to all my coworkers, my family watching, and my friends out there too.
Yeah, we've had a good year. I was thinking about this yesterday, where the news has been pretty darn heavy lately, right? And there's just so much to be thankful for. Of course, the usual things like having your friends and family in your life, and then both my parents are going through some health things right now, and they're doing well. And that's always, as they age and they're getting older, that's always something in the back of your mind, and it's working out, and they're doing fine. But I'm thankful for their health. I'm thankful for, for me, it's I'm always grateful for how this community has accepted me. I've been here for 6 years now, not just as, the meteorologist, but also on this couch with you and others, talking about daily events. And it's always neat to kind of go out in public and hear the feedback, and it's overwhelmingly supportive, right, of what we do in this promoting the Northwoods. I mean, I've had the pleasure of living in, 14 cities, and I chose to come back this way for a reason. There's 4 seasons, but there's something about upper Midwest people and Wisconsin people, the corn-fed kind of potato-raised thing, and I love it, and I am so grateful for that this time of year.
Yeah, and I feel like a good summary of what you're saying is it's the little things, right?
The little things.
It's having your health. I guess that's maybe a big thing, but it's not the materials that you might own. It's the people that you interact with, and I interact with as well, that are so gracious and nice. And of course, we have our health and our family's health.
Yeah, like I was trying to pry yesterday with Dan, because Dan I'm trying to think about a Christmas present for Dan.
Okay.
And he said to me, he goes, Jeff, I don't need things. You said that yesterday, right? And I'm just like, yeah, you don't, and you really don't need things. You're just as happy being in your deer stand for 6 hours doing nothing with yourself, when you need playing on your iPad. So that makes you pretty amazing. So thanks for being here.
Well, we had a couple things we were going to get to, but somehow we ran out of time. That was very unexpected.
We can just skip the commercials, I guess, and just keep
I don't
chatting
think
for a while,
I actually literally think we can't skip the commercials. That's why we're going to go to break right now. We'll be back right after the break. We're going to learn about a suffragist from Schofield, Wisconsin.
Thursday's community calendar on Up North at 4 is brought to you by Merrill Steel.
Wickersham Jewelry is rolling out the deals for Black Friday, and they're doing it the whole week. Save 50% on select silver and gemstone jewelry. Tell her you love her to the moon and back. or choose from gorgeous diamond pendants starting at only $99. And if you're ready to pop the question, Wickersham's has engagement rings starting at only $2.99. Black Friday week at Wickersham's. If you can dream it, we can make it. Wickersham Jewelry.
Hi, I'm Karen from the Hearing House, where we practice honesty, integrity, compassion, and fantastic products to help our neighbors reach their full potential. It's a fact that better hearing leads to more confidence, better relationships, more fun in life. You'll get our 60-day money-back guarantee, as well as all the care needed to help you succeed in better hearing. Don't let another day slip by. Call us today.
Make your house a hearing house.
This week, gather your loved ones.
My wife, Joanna, she's got my heart.
Because Wheel's dishing out some family fun.
No way! My sister was on the show previously. She won a trip to the Bahamas, so I gotta prove something.
See if Lauren outdoes her sister. Then, after all the
turkey and
stuffing,
kick back and enjoy!
A full serving of America's Game.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights at 6:30 on NBC 12.
We have to shout out our dream team, Jeff.
Yes,
These
dream
are
team.
our directors. We got Kevin Williamson, Chris Baranek, and Paul Bonardelli. They are the best. They're the ones who push the buttons. We're so thankful
there
for
they
them.
are.
And look at them. They're waving to us. They do such a good job for us every single day.
They keep
We don't
us on
deserve
the
it.
air. They put up with all of our craziness.
Right.
And you're known for being kind of last-minute changey.
That's not true.
Yeah,
That is
totally
not true.
And they put up with this, so thank you guys. We appreciate you.
That is not true at all. We do appreciate you guys, though. And they always tell us that we're running heavy, which means that we're talking too much.
Right.
And we're doing that right now. We got to go to an interview from last year, or at least a long time ago, about a Schofield suffragist. Let's head down to central Wisconsin. Welcome back to Up North at 4 for today's history segment. We're heading down to Marathon County, specifically Schofield. First, I'm joined by Ben Clark from the Marathon County Historical Society. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
So it's International Women's Month, and it was your idea to talk about a notable suffragist from Schofield. So let's hear about her.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of interesting. You know, we can talk a lot about, you know, people who have left their legacy, who I can, you know, pull out literal books of history and, well, here's their biographies. And Almedia Gray is one of those people that, for whatever reason, for a variety of reasons, doesn't get included in that. She is just somebody, but deserves to be, I think, right? She in the 1880s is really influential in the suffrage movement, which, you know, 1880s, that's a few decades before the big successes come in the early 20th century. But thanks to her help, that organization, the Wisconsin organization, was able to make some really important strides in setting up what's going to come into the future. So I guess to kind of put it in perspective, she's actually also one of the very first pioneers to settle here. Back in 1850, she's in the U.S. Census, living in, well, not in Schofield because there is no Schofield, but it's the mill, the boarding house that's operated by a guy named William Schofield. It's eventually going to become that. You know, 1850, that's about 2 years after Wisconsin becomes a state. This is a very small amount. There's maybe less than a dozen people actually in this boarding house. But she's there with her brother George, who's, you know, she's like 16 years old at this point. I'm not sure what exactly brought them there, but, you know, working for the lumber industry. She meets a guy named John Gray, also there. They get married. He ends up becoming a pretty prominent mill operator down in Cronenwetter, or what's going to become Cronenwetter. But the two of them kind of make for an interesting pair, in part because she owns land too. which is really kind of interesting. I don't know exactly what the nature of her job, her business was, but she owns land and she pays taxes on that land. And it's actually kind of interesting because you can look at the plat maps and you can see the bits of land that are labeled under her name, and it's not Mrs. John Gray, it's A.B. Gray. She's going to keep her initials, and that's, very much, the kind of woman that she was. The other interesting thing is that they don't go to Wausau. The Schofields don't live in Schofield, but the Grays do. All of the lumber people go to Wausau, but they're in Schofield because there's this really small, tight-knit circle of people that emerge there. It's what they call a suffrage, it's what they call a temperance town. It's kind of a strange group of people. They're mostly like Protestant, sort of Anglo-descended, from British ethnicity. Unlike the German and the Polish and the Norwegians who are coming and settling the rest of the county, they kind of keep very tight-knit, and they're interested in the idea of temperance, which is the idea, maybe we should drink less alcohol, we'd be better as a society, and also, maybe we should be doing something to make sure that people don't have access to alcohol, and that's going to lead to the prohibition of the 1920s. Again, still ways in the future, but out of this is one of the few areas where women are allowed to mobilize and to be active in the community outside of their homes in the traditional roles. And that's starting to change, but this is sort of a training ground for women. And in particular, they see how the early temperance movement kind of falters. And they think, well, if the men who are supposed to be in charge aren't actually getting things done, well, maybe it's time that women have a say in who represents us and who writes the laws and all of that sort of thing. So that leads her, Almedia Gray, actually, we have a visit here in Wausau from Susan B. Anthony. She comes and speaks here in like 1870, 1871. And within like a month afterwards, they have a chapter of the Women's Christian Temperance Movement formed here, the Women's Christian Temperance Union, which is like one of those organizations that mobilize. She joins up, and then through that, she actually, in 1883, in Wisconsin, they create the Wisconsin Women's Suffrage Association. After, there had been a bill that they were trying to get through onto the legislative floor, and they basically said, no, we're not going to do that. And in response, they said, well, we'll create this organization basically to lobby for that. And she's right there. She, through these contacts, she knows all of these people, and, this organization, she's not just going to be there for its founding, she's going to be the chairman of the executive committee, which is really surprising because, again, here's this person from Schofield that we would not think to be this center of suffragist sentiment, but sure enough, that seems to be, one of these big locations. And the big accomplishment that they end up doing is, during this period in like the mid 1880s, they're going around and creating new chapters of the organization. She's credited with bringing to Wisconsin Rapids in particular, which is going to be kind of important moving forward. But she's also the financial person. She raises money and makes it possible for them to do this campaign, which ultimately gets women. There's a referendum that passes very narrowly. It's kind of a wider story, but it actually gives in 1886 women technically can vote in Wisconsin. It's a partial suffrage. It's a suffrage just for school issues, which is kind of intentionally vague. They kind of wrote it watered down so that it would pass. And then it's kind of hard to implement it because what does that mean? Does that mean, probably school boards, but does that mean like, the state legislature sets policy and funding for a lot of school stuff. So does that mean that you can vote for that? Well, it ends up kind of ultimately getting basically put on ice by the state Supreme Court in 1887, where they say, look, this isn't the intention of the law. You can't just vote for whatever. We need to have some implementation. And it's ultimately going to take another 15 years or so before women can vote. But they do vote. In early 1900s, women here recognize, oh, hey, there's this law in the books that lets us vote. We just need to have, the implementation. So they create a system where there are, separate ballots for men and women, so that women, don't get the same ballots. It's just the things that they can vote for. And then while that's kind of a step back in terms of what they were looking for, it helps to normalize the idea of women going to the polls and just taking part in this sort of thing. Unfortunately, that's all kind of in the future. And in 1887, as the Supreme Court kind of, stops this, it's kind of rough for the suffrage movement here. And in particular, Almedia Gray, she kind of gets, I think because she was kind of involved in the court case, she kind of was one of the people that kind of, I don't know how interested she was in pushing it, but she certainly was part of that and financing it. The organization goes into debt afterwards, court cases are expensive. And so she actually kind of, and I think maybe this is the point where she realizes it's not going to happen in Wisconsin, but she's, maybe looking somewhere where it will. And maybe it's, got tired of the cold Wisconsin winters, decides, well, she's got money, she's going to retire to California. And so she moves to California in 1890, where she actually continues to fight for suffrage. There's a great article in Los Angeles is where they end up going. And there's an article I found in which, like in 1904, a group of women at a local, meeting of the temperance union, they get fired up and they go to the courthouse and they push past the counters where women are not allowed. This group of women goes to the clerk who is, in charge of registering voters, and they demand the right to register. And they start, but for this reason, for that reason, for this reason, they go down their list that they had ready. And it was really only the court photographer who came over, a reporter who snapped a couple pictures, and all of a sudden the ladies kind of realize, oh, maybe we don't want to be, kind of brings to their senses, and they decide to kind of leave. But apparently the leader, which was Almedia Gray, it was identified as her, she kind of was resolute and realized, well, moments passed, but she turns to leave. Before she leaves, she says, you're lucky we didn't even halfway through the arguments we had ready. And, that's just the kind of person that she was. And I think, ultimately in California, they succeed in getting the right to vote in 1910, and thanks to women like Almedia Gray, putting the fight. It's going to be a little bit longer before Wisconsin gets that full suffrage. It's, 1920. But Almedia does live long enough to see that. She registers to vote in 1911, gets to vote for about a full decade before, the Wisconsin women get to join her. And I think she dies around 1921. So she would have gotten to see that by the time that she did pass. So really fascinating life and a fascinating story that again, we don't really talk about, in part because she leaves town, in part because she's a woman advocating for things that, in the 1880s are not as as recognized as valuable, I think, to some people here. So it's a great opportunity to kind of revisit that.
Really appreciate that, Ben. And seems like Miss Gray was a trailblazer, even though perhaps it didn't lead to the most tangible fruition, as you mentioned, but certainly laid the groundwork in the state.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much, Ben.
Yeah.
Is one of our favorite seasons at Trader's. Our boutique is loaded with the latest fall fashion and jewelry. Check out our unique boots, shoes, and purses, fabulous fall home decor, and our adorable grandkids in our baby boutique.
Find something you'll love at Trader's.
Think about your job. Now, imagine your new job. It is a possibility. If you're good at what you do, have confidence and drive, maybe it's time to go here. Good jobs need good people, and now's a very good time. Kosurik Automotive has good jobs waiting in Wausau, Stevens Point, and Rhinelander, and the bennies are bountiful. Check it out. It might be your time to fly.
It's here. Perkins Hearty and Homestyle menu starting at just $8.99. Enjoy our classic pot roast dinner, pot roast stroganoff, fajita breakfast quesadilla, and more. And don't forget a fresh baked pie from our holiday bake shop. Take one home or order online at perkinstogo.com.
When the owners of Kelk Land Improvement and Kelk Septic Service of Woodruff want the forecast for the Northwoods, they go to WJFW.com and check their hometown weather.
Available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
Wishing you were here? When you work at Merrill Steel, you can be. Merrill Steel offers flexible start times for first shift, as well as optional Fridays, giving you the work-life balance you deserve. So you can go from this to this. End your hunt now by visiting us at 900 Alderson Street in Schofield, texting us at 715-679-4198, or applying online at merrillsteel.com/employment.
For the most up-to-the-minute info on your school closings, visit WJFW.com on your computer, your tablet, or your phone. WJFW School Closings, sponsored by Builders Service Incorporated and People's State Bank.
Welcome to Patchouli Garden in Park Falls. We love authentic Indonesian patchouli and we specialize in our original custom blends. Everything with the Patchouli Garden name on it we make right here in our store. Visit Patchouli Garden in the store or online.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
There's something new coming out of radios throughout north central Wisconsin. Wave 100.5 plays the biggest mix of the 80s, 90s, and today. All of your favorites with no hard rock, no rap, and no moldy cheese. At work, at home, and in the car, let the music take you to Wave 100.5.
Wickersham Jewelry is rolling out the deals for Black Friday, and they're doing it the whole week. Save 50% on select silver and gemstone jewelry. Tell her you love her to the moon and back. Or choose from gorgeous diamond pendants, starting at only $99. And if you're ready to pop the question, Wickersham's has engagement rings starting at only $2.99. Black Friday week at Wickersham's. If you can dream it, we can make it. Wickersham Jewelry.
Need to get out with some space? Cabaret Cove offers a variety of ways to have the fun you desire. Enjoy football parties on the large screen with one of our homemade pizzas or amazing cheese curds. Plan your dinner with Cabaret Cove's specials. Tuesday shrimp nights with a number of choices of how you like your shrimp. Wednesdays and Sundays enjoy roasted chicken with the sides you crave. And of course, Fish Fry Friday. Stop in for a delicious meal, live music, and a drink with great company. Cabaret Cove of Rhinelander.
Looking for that unique holiday gift? A gift basket from Lake Nokomis Cranberries will brighten anyone's holiday. Custom gift baskets are available online at LakeNokomisCranberries.com or visit the gift shop on County D.
All right, so what's going on this weekend in the Northwoods? Well, tomorrow's the 33rd annual Christmas Walk in downtown Boulder Junction. A lot of fun going on there, 3 to 8 Friday. Then on Saturday, we have a small business Christmas craft show. That's at Cabaret Cove in Rhinelander, Saturday 9 to 4. And on Sunday, there's a reptile expo in central Wisconsin and Rothschild. That'll be fun. And that's all the time we have, Jeff.
We're done.
You're gonna
busy.
Your weather for 5 and 6. I will see you there as well. We'll be right back at Newswatch 12 at 5.
She's got it.